Let me show you how VLOOKUP is different from XLOOKUP with a practical example. In our students table, we have the student names, the different subjects that they've done, and the marks they've gained, as well as in this last column, we are calculating the total marks gained out of the entire 4 subjects. Assuming that this list was too huge, for example, if we had 10,000 students, then it would be hard for you, or it would consume a lot of your time to scroll through the list as you look for individual marks gained by any specific student. So to solve that problem, you can write a VLOOKUP function right here, in that you just select the student name from the drop-down list and the total marks gained by that specific student displays right here. Let's go ahead and write this formula in here. I'll say equals VLOOKUP. The lookup value will be the selected student name, and our table array will be the students table 1, comma. For the column index number, because the VLOOKUP looks up for values from the left to the right, you'd start counting your columns from the left, and the specific column that contains our answers is this last column right here, which is actually column number 6. So you put a 6 in here, comma. We are going to be doing an exact match, so I can put a 0 in here, or I can just type false, close off the brackets, hit enter key on the keyboard. There you go. You can see Barbara in here has a total marks gained of 275. Now let's have a look at one of the limitations of the VLOOKUP function, and that is what I've just explained to you, that the VLOOKUP function looks up for values from the left to the right. So if you have a data set that is arranged like this, for example, then the VLOOKUP will not come to the rescue in this situation. Let's anyway write the formula in here like we did in our first example and see whether this one gives us something correct. So I'll come in here and say equals VLOOKUP. The lookup value will of course be our student name, comma, and the table array will be student table 2. For the column index number in a data set that is arranged like this, you can see that our probable column that contains the answers is actually column number 1. And yet we said that the VLOOKUP looks up for values from the left to the right. So let's try putting column number 1, comma, and we are doing an exact match. I'll put a 0, close off the brackets, hit enter key on the keyboard, and there you go. Immediately we get an error in here. When you have your data set arranged like this one right here, there are 2 specific functions that can come to your rescue, and that is a combination of the index match or the XLOOKUP that I'm going to show you right in a moment. You'd come over to this cell and start typing equals XLOOKUP. The lookup value will of course be our student name, and the lookup array this time will be the column that contains our student names, comma. The return array will be the column that contains our total marks that we are looking for. We can close off brackets from here and hit enter key on the keyboard. You can see that for this specific student, total marks is 238. Let's just select one more student to test our formula. I'll go for Sarah, and yes, the function is working properly. If you'd like to learn more about VLOOKUP in particular, or any lookup function in Excel, watch any of the videos showing on your screen somewhere. See you in the next video.